how is your reality actually built? I mean, really think about that. Is it something you design yourself piece by piece? Something you just discover? Or is it something that's being pushed on you? Today, we're going to dive into 4 completely different models for how reality might be put together, from our own thoughts to forces we can't even see. Let's get into it. And that really brings us to the heart of it all. The life you're living right now. Is that a conscious choice? A vision you're actively trying to create? Or could it be something a little more sinister? An infection of thought, maybe. A program running in the background that you never even knew was installed. So first up, let's look at the psychological architecture. This is a really popular idea, the one that says you can literally program your own reality. In this model, your thoughts, the words you use, your vision, they're not just ideas. They are the actual blueprints for the life you build around you. This quote from Owen Cook just nails it. He's talking about his reality as a project, a vision that he has to build. He's not just sitting around daydreaming. He's describing the architectural plan for his entire career. And this is the core idea, right? That a vision, if it's powerful enough, can literally bend the world to its will, even if it's a super expensive one with razor-thin margins. Well, one of the most famous toolkits for building this kind of vision is something called neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP for short. It was actually developed by modeling really successful therapists, and its whole promise is that excellence isn't some kind of magic. No, it's a structure, it's a pattern that can be decoded and then copied by pretty much anyone. And right away, we hit a wall of conflict. Because on one side, you have NLP producing giants like Tony Robbins, who's influenced millions of people. But then on the other side, there's a completely different reality where critics are calling him a fraud, talking about brainwashing techniques and cult-like behavior. So which reality is the real one? Or is it possible they can both be true at the same time? Okay, so let's shift gears. We're moving from the psychological, the software, to the biological, the hardware. Our second architecture of reality isn't about programming your mind. It's about physically rewiring your brain to create a new reality from the inside out. And wow, just look at this image. It's absolutely stunning. On the left, that's a brain on a placebo. You can see the normal, well-worn neural pathways. But on the right, that's a brain on psilocybin. It's just an explosion of new connections. The mycologist Paul Stamets talks about this. These are brand new pathways linking up parts of the brain that almost never talk to each other. It's like a full-on neurological reset. And this connection we have with fungi, it's not new. It's ancient. We know for a fact that at least 23 species of primates, humans included, consume mushrooms. That suggests a really deep evolutionary relationship that might have literally shaped our own consciousness over millennia. And this rewiring can have absolutely profound effects. Paul Stamets tells this unbelievable story about how he had a debilitating stutter for his entire life. Then, during a really intense psychedelic experience, he just commanded himself to stop. The very next day, his stutter was just gone, permanently. So what's actually going on here? Well, the mechanism behind this is called neurogenesis, the literal birth of new neurons in the brain. And psilocybin has been shown to actively fire up this process. So this isn't just some subjective feeling. It's a physical renovation of the brain's architecture, letting old, stuck pathways be rerouted and new ones to be built. Okay, so our third architecture, it scales things way, way up. We're going from the individual brain to the entire planet, exploring a model where reality itself is one giant, intelligent, interconnected network. When we see a mushroom popping out of the ground, we're really only seeing the fruit. The real organism is the mycelium, this massive, sprawling, interconnected web of threads under the ground. A single mushroom is just one tiny part of a hidden, sprawling entity. And here's where Paul Stamets makes this radical claim. He says this network isn't just a biological thing. He calls it Earth's natural internet. He actually suggests that this web is sensitive, it's responsive, and maybe, just maybe, it's sentient, an intelligent layer of consciousness just blanketing the entire planet. And what's so fascinating is that this pattern, this branching network design, it shows up everywhere. You see it in the neural connections of our own brains. You see it in the cosmic web of dark matter that holds galaxies together. You even see it in the internet that we built. So, is that all just a coincidence? Or is it pointing to some kind of fundamental blueprint for how complex systems work across all scales of reality? So, up to now, we've looked at realities we can build, realities we can rewire, or realities we can connect with. But our fourth and final architecture, it is much, much darker. What if your reality isn't yours at all? What if it's been hijacked by an unseen intelligence with its own agenda? Now, just a quick disclaimer here. This section comes from let's just say, a highly provocative online source that presents its ideas as a series of questions. It kicks things off by asking, could something like depression not be a disorder of the brain at all, but a symptom of a parasitic infection, a deliberate manipulation of the host's body chemistry? And the source keeps going. It questions whether parasites could actually change a host's behavior to maximize their own reproduction. It even puts forward the idea that some parasites, since they can be transmitted sexually, might push their hosts towards promiscuity, effectively creating a society that's perfectly optimized for them to spread. And here, the source really lays out its core argument with this table. It points out that fenbendazole, a chemical known to harm parasites, is illegal in human food. Meanwhile, glyphosate, a chemical it claims helps parasites, is legal. The implication they're posing is that our entire system might be structured to help parasites thrive. And all of this builds to the source's final, ultimate question. Is this all just an accident, or is it a deliberate system of control? It asks, point blank, if the global elites are using parasites as a hidden weapon to influence and manage the entire population. I mean, that is a truly disturbing architecture for reality. So, we've just seen 4 radically different blueprints for what reality could be: a psychological program, a neurological reset, a universal network, and a parasitic takeover. How do we even begin to sort through these competing claims? Well, we're going to need some tools for thinking. Okay, 2 concepts here are absolutely crucial. First, the ad hominem fallacy. So when you hear someone call Tony Robbins a fraud, ask yourself, is that a real critique of his methods, or is it just an attack on his character to get you to dismiss his ideas? Second, there's malafides, or arguing in bad faith. Is a speaker genuinely trying to explore an idea, or are they knowingly using a flimsy argument just to win you over? Keeping these tools handy is essential when you're looking at any of these models. You know, when you boil it all down, each one of these models tells a totally different story about power and control. The psychological model says you are in control. The neurological one says your biology is, but hey, you can change it. The universal model suggests we're all part of some bigger intelligence. And that last one, the parasitic model, it claims we are not in control at all. Which brings us to our final thought for today. If reality really is just a story being told, what part do you play? Are you the author, scripting your own life with every thought and vision? Are you the reader, just discovering a story that was already written through science and observation? Or, and this is the most unsettling possibility, are you just a character, acting out a role in someone or something else's dream? The answer to that, well, it might just define the very nature of your existence.